heroes are alive, cheering alive. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. We rise and we cheer, unity in spirit, the heart leads. Raging voices, let's make it loud. We're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright, flag in hand. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, and for this heart we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. And for this high school, from the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. Be a night band.
All right, it is time for the South Florida edition of the Blitz here on Florida HS Football. Coach Rob Ron, he'll be somewhere in here in a few minutes here. But as we come to you live here on this Tuesday night, appreciate everybody joining us here. No guest for the interview tonight again. As y'all know, I ran into tech trouble. Get through the season and all of a sudden the tech gremlins come up in. Maybe it was Henry joking too much about those UFOs that finally got the best of me. You, Henry. That was a the static might have been my microphone. I don't know. That might have been what some of it. I don't know. Because I didn't hear the static may have been where I was getting ready to come on. It was that at the beginning of the show when I went to go do the countdown on the live, but I'm not sure exactly. You'll have to let me know, Emery, in the chat here. But welcome to LDTPS. Mark Cannon, I can't understand what you're saying. I'm not versed in Spanish by no means. If put a translator on that, I wish I had a translator in the chat because then I would be able to tell what it is. Let's see. Mark Cannon said, "I did it to the interest." I don't know. I've been trying to keep the with the system. We had some issues with during the stuff with the. Dang, there may be a couple issues going on with in terms of StreamYard and their stuff. Oh boy, the lot at TPS at Traspal Stadium. But we'll go ahead and bring Coach in here in just a moment. Here, I see he had to go grab a bite to eat, and I'll go ahead and Coach. We'll let Coach eat for a moment. And we'll bring it back in.
Go ahead.
Coach needed to get something to eat, that you can tell, but this is what we like. Hey, we're all human. Let's remember that we're all human. We like to have fun. This is not just about being all professional, and it's about being professional, but also but at the same time, we're also, hey, let's relax a little bit. Let's enjoy this. Let's talk some high school football. Anyways, let's go ahead. I'm going to drop into the Blitz lines here as we let Coach eat here real quick here, and there we go. what was week number 10 in the Blitz lines here as we roll along here into the show here. And boy, I can tell you this right now. Looking at everything, Spanish River taking care of business against Boca Raton. They handled that one easily. And this one, I'm still. What is Coach eating? Let's pop back in. What is Coach eating? Wait a second. I got Coach is muted. Let me go. Coach, you're muted on your end.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Breakfast for dinner.
Breakfast for dinner. Where's my cinnamon toast crunch for dinner? Yes. Winston, big win for Spanish River, first in a long time for them. But this one, me, Chris, and Reno were all on this pick with this one. American Heritage Del Rey at NSU University School, and boy, were we wrong on this one here, real quick. That was not good at all. But NSU University School 23-21 over American Heritage Del Rey, and that helped NSU University School in their quest for the berth in the SSA 11-man league playoff, the state championship bracket. American Heritage Del Rey did make the state championship bracket and as a number one seed in the SSA Atlantic one. So yeah, it looks like we all lost that one big time on that one with that pick here. And by the way, I saw the Miami Herald on this game. Mater Academy 7-1, who was 7-1 last week, and Immaculate Cell, who was 8-0, and Andre Fernandez at the Miami Herald thought, at Mater Academy you got Ice Harris Senior, who's the head coach. That Ice Harris, who had been Booker T like 4 different stints, head coach now at Mater Academy after retiring from the Miami-Dade County school system and all that, and thought, Ice Harris, Helder Valle had been having, it's gone up against Ice Harris quite a few times here, and thought maybe, it's Ice, but here it is. Immaculate LaSalle wins that game, and LaSalle now 9-0, and I gotta give a round of applause to all of us because we did go right on that pick. And they pulled that one off, and LaSalle's now 9-0. Mater is now 7-2, but still looking pretty good for the playoffs. And McCarthy, wow, Archbishop McCarthy just totally dominated Calvary Christian Fort Lauderdale. Woo. You know what, Coach McCarthy this year, Archbishop McCarthy has been a surprise because when they beat, I think we kind of saw like, okay, they put us on notice in the game against Norland. They won that one. They did slip up against the game against Plantation, but when the result came in against American Heritage Plantation, that was it. That was like, okay, y'all are here. Y'all have arrived. Thank you for playing, and we do not ignore us anymore, please. They're just a team this year that I wouldn't have said they would have beaten. If you told me weeks ago that they would have beaten American Heritage, I would have been like, "Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind?"
Right.
So I'm just like, so Mark Cannon asks me, is Mater Academy's quarterback injured or something? Kid is a baller. I you know what? LaSalle, we had Coach Valle on a few weeks ago, and I got to tell you, LaSalle is definitely one of those programs that, they've been working and building a program there. They've been working and building and improving their facilities down there. They're right there on the bay. And West Boca's loss was telling. Yes, against Cardinal Newman. That was not just past week, but so boy. Yeah. All right. Looking at the final results that we had, O'Galley and Atlantic. We talked about that in the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz, and boy, Atlantic. There might be a reason why they're the number one seed, and of course now American Heritage Plantation at St. Thomas Aquinas. That was a battle, but St. Thomas out on top. And American Heritage, if you told me American Heritage was going to suffer 5 losses this year, I would have told you to get out, take your car and go put it from the front of the parking lot to the back of the parking lot. Sorry for the parking lot reference, Mark Cannon. Yeah. Take the car and put it from the front parking lot and the back parking lot. I don't want to hear any of that smoke, but here we are. We're talking about American Heritage Plantation having 5 losses on the season, and that one. I'm still trying to put my head around that. But if you also told me that Archbishop McCarthy was going to win a district, I would have said, "Yeah, you're kidding."
Mm-hmm.
So things that have happened here that probably were unexpected. I mean, let me pull up. I'll go pull this up because I do have that on here on the spreadsheet here that I can pull up here because it's in the power rankings computer in our files here, and I can tell you in terms of the preseason with what was the projected in terms of the wins and losses for American Heritage. Well, because they're right close together in terms of ABC order. Yeah, the computer said 9-0. Computer was like 9-0 for them this year, but that was a let me get my thing. That was a yeah. And Archbishop McCarthy 4-6. Well, yeah, we're definitely. What was that? Cinder blocks don't roll. What, Mark Cannon? What was that? What was that?
Gosh.
Oh man, cinder blocks don't roll. Bark, would you like me to call a tow truck? Oh, but I'll be honest. I'm just looking back at some of these numbers here. I'm just like, well, we're close on some of this, and some of this we're not so close. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, sure. This is not what we were expecting, and with some of these teams this year. And I got to tell you, it's really really interesting to see where we're at here. What another one I pulled up here. I want to say that they had a game against Centennial that did not make up here, but I'm going to pull up American Heritage Del Rey here real quick here on Max Preps because I just want to make sure because I don't have everything updated yet in the system yet here. Trying to verify that see how close the prediction was for this year on their schedule here. Let's see, 6-3. Yeah, we called for 7-3. So the computer called for 7-3. So yeah, we're right. Call it right on that one. In the games they did lose, let's see. Go back to it. I'm pulling it up here on the here because it'll tell me exactly which games they were projected to lose. And interesting enough, there was games against Florida Christian, Lakeland Christian, and NSU University School that they were supposed to lose. Well, 2 out of those 3 losses were Lakeland Christian, NSU University Schools. They lost those 2 games. So those 2 games in particular were right. What was the third game? They lost Kings Academy. That was a game they were actually predicted to win. The game that they were supposed to lose was Florida Christian, but they won that one game. So something's coming, something's go, it sounds like.
A little bit more parody down there. I'm trying to say something nice. I have so many fans down in South Florida. So.
Oh my! I'm sorry. The chat is blowing up, and I gotta. Emery's like, let's call AAA for. Mark was like, the Ford Pinto was almost abducted by last week, but Cinder Blocks. Well, you know what? The UFO's coming tonight. There you go. Oh my gosh.
I've never said anything mean about South Florida, have I?
I don't. I got to tell you, I just when it came to South Florida on some things, some people have come and say like, oh, you're in North Florida, you never seen South Florida, but I'm like, I know, I drive down to South Florida and I'm like, okay, I do not like the traffic in South Florida. I love South Florida football. Don't get me wrong, I like South Florida. Isn't Venice and Northwestern? Oh my gosh, Mark. But that is not.
Mark is enemy number 1 right now.
Yeah, no. I don't think it's coming up the bye week. I don't think they're going to play.
Yeah, that's the badminton teams that are playing.
Winston's like, y'all don't like us. I can't right yeah. This is why I love y'all, because y'all make it fun here in terms of what we with the chat, and it's definitely one of those things. This is what I'm missing. Wish Chris was here too, because he'd be rolling probably right now some of the stuff that's in the chat. But Mark is still in the parking lot for a cat. Well, wait a second. How's Mark? Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a second. Wasn't Mark riding the Sunshine Skyway earlier? How can you be in the parking lot Trash Pal riding on the Sunshine Skyway at the same time? I got to figure that one out. If anybody can figure that one out for me, come back and I might have a reward for you at the end of the show.
Mark's the type to hop on the Suncoast rail and just ride it from one end to the other.
Yes, I will agree that the South Florida traffic is really something, especially 995. But then again, I can't say that they can't say the turnpike's any better because, yeah, good night. Yeah, good night on that one. But anyways, let's take a break here, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about some of the playoff scenarios that we've got going on in South Florida, because there is a lot to talk about South Florida wise here as we roll along here on the South Florida edition of the Blitz here on Florida HS Football. We'll be right back right after this.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, it's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
All right, as we come back here to the South Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. Oh man, the chat's wild tonight. This is what I love about this show. It's about their shows. It's not just about talking about sports. It's also the camaraderie that's in their chats, and I definitely love it. And I appreciate everybody that's joining us here. Boy, Mark Hannes. Oh, waiting for this to make him. That's been rough. Man, oh man, y'all are wild in that chat. But anyways, as we look back on everything, let's kind of touch more about what we talked about in Drive the State. Obviously, we went through all the classifications, but now we can kind of give a little bit more centric focus to South Florida and looking at that 7A Region 3 bracket. Obviously, that's where South Florida starts in that classification here, Coach. And boy, Palm Beach Central, they were not even in the looking around in this bracket a few weeks ago, but when they beat Vanguard, that kind of sent them skyrocketing back into the bracket. And they got in. But Jupiter, I'm really like with Jupiter just 9-0, and I'm like sitting here like they're gonna good shot at finishing 10-0. I can't remember the last time that Jupiter was even this good in terms of football.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 2 years, you've really seen that program starting to trend. I think it was something that was coming. I mean, at some point it was gonna hit on all the cylinders. Was not anticipating it, like you said, being this season. I thought they still had some questions to answer, and apparently they've answered them sooner than I think people assumed. That's the beauty of it, especially at this level of high school football, is nobody knows what's happening behind your closed doors in the off season. And so while everyone's like, yeah, that program's trending on the uptick, maybe they're thinking they're another year away. And everybody in that building, they knew what they were building going into the season. And it's kind of like they kind of slid under the radar throughout the early parts. And they've got everyone's attention now, though. You're going to sit on the bottom end of that bracket. You're gonna get everyone's best shot. So
they got some good coaching there. Jason Kratman, the head coach there. I gotta say, I will say when we're looking at that, the foundation obviously laid there. The foundation's been laid there. There, I'm trying to. Oh gosh, the coach's name. The coach that was there before him. If I go I'll go look it up here real quick here. Man, it's slipping slipping my mind right now. So if somebody helps me on that one, I'll go through there. But back to that 7A region 3 bracket here real quick as we go through this here. I mean, obviously you look at it, there's Jupiter, there's Palm Beach Central there. Those are the two teams, but we go to 7A region 4. This is where you're going to find the rest of South Florida here. And that Miami Palmetto, I look at that bracket, I look at region 4 and I'm just like, part of me is just like, ew. What's up with this bracket? It's like I need to. I'm sorry, but it's just like there's something not right about this bracket. I just feel weird about this bracket when I look at it.
Yeah,
it's just not right.
I mean, there's certainly what we're used to over the last couple of years. It definitely looks weird. Seeing Western at a 7 seed, Columbus at a 6 seed. That's probably visually, it just looks weird seeing those two teams in particularly. Western and Columbus have been two of the stronger teams coming out of that area, especially in that 7A classification.
Yeah, in Columbus this year, sitting there around 6. By the way, Winston, thank you. I had just pulled it up at the same time you said it. Tim Tharp, yes, thank you. I can have the visual in my head, but for some reason his name was not coming to me. Tim Tharp. He kind of did lay the ground for the foundation of where Jupiter is at now. So, and that was one of his goals, just to kind of build that program back up after they had suffered quite a few losses over the years. But anyways, back to this 7A4 region 4 bracket here. I mean, Western down year for them. Columbus is a down year this year for them as well. I mean, outside of Miami Palmetto, who's going to challenge them in this bracket? I feel like, Mark Cannon's right. It's just a lot of average teams this year in this bracket, and that's what's really throwing me off. I guess that's why I don't like this bracket a lot. Because it's not the same.
It's not up to the billing it's been over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, I've kept up with Spanish River this year. I mean, they're pretty. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody in this. I just don't see anybody in this bracket, like you said, challenging Palmetto. I'm one of the. It's one of those things where it's like, I get where they're seated, but I'm big on coaching. I'm big on the history of the last couple of years, and there's guys that are on those Western and Columbus teams that have been a part of those better programs. And we talked about this, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but similar to like a Trinity Christian up here in Jacksonville. I mean, it's programs that have been there, done that this time of year. They find ways to win. And you can just kind of throw the seeding out the window. Those teams travel well. They know what it takes to win this time of year. It wouldn't shock me if it's a Columbus or if it's a Western that's facing Palmetto. And then if I'm Palmetto, I probably don't want to face those two teams. simply for the familiarity that those two programs have with Palmetto. Just because we're used to seeing them in that regional final against one of those two programs. It won't shock me, but I if you had, kind of gun to head, if you had to ask me right now, I'd probably still roll with Spanish River, to get to that regional final.
No, absolutely. Here, as we look at 6A Region 3, obviously some of the South Florida teams are sitting there in that. West Boca, the defending state champion, 6A, sitting there at a 2 seed right now. Obviously, that's the biggest team right there. That's the only team really right this second out of South Florida that's sitting there in that Region 3 bracket. I thought Royal Palm Beach had a chance. They were in the mix, but they're sitting on the outside looking in. But, depending on how they go against with Dr. Garcia here this week against for Royal Palm Beach and Dr. Garcia, we'll see if anything happens there. That's another team that's on the outside looking in right this second. Both of them sitting there with 6 wins. So we'll talk about that more in a moment here. But Region 4, obviously Miami Southridge. I think Miami Southridge in this bracket, Coach, they're the team to beat. They almost came up with a big win against Miami Central. That GMAC in week 9 just came up short in that game after having a lead for a while. But Miami Southridge, Pearson Otis, they've done a really fantastic job there. And I think that, Region 4 is there to lose.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'll tell you this. Miami Southridge would like to have another matchup with West Boca Raton again. They would like to have that game back from last year. Oh, you go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I agree with you.
Okay. Emery Smith, do you still have a ringing sound in your ear, Mark? Oh dear.
Oh gosh.
Oh dear, the chat is wild. Oh man. But let's take a look at Class 5A Region 4. This is okay. Well, actually, 5A region. Why do I have 5A Region 4 in the same spot? I need 5A Region 3. I don't need 5 or 3. All right, 5A Region 4 here. Let's look at this one here. Obviously, you got the South Florida heavy here, Space Coast, Treasure Coast area with Martin County. Obviously, Martin County being the one team that's from that area. Rest of it is South Florida from Palm Beach County down Atlantic. Obviously, you see Atlantic, St. Thomas Aquinas, Coconut Creek, Matter Academy. Those are your top 4. I think those are going to be your top 4 seeds. And you see North Miami, the Fighting Larry Bluesteins, as I call them, because that's Larry Bluestein's alma mater. And you're looking at a 7 seed. Miramar's at 8. That's where I say watch out for that seed, because that one could be in Palm Beach Heritage hands, depending on how this week goes. And then going into Class 4A, Region 4, obviously, we talked about it earlier. Archbishop McCarthy, number 1 seed. And well, again, you've told me that Archbishop McCarthy would be the 1 seed most likely coming out of this region this year. I would have said take the car and get it out in the park. Go from the front of the parking lot to the back, because I don't want to hear about it. But here we are. What makes this interesting is that this bracket could be, because of the way Heritage has struggled somewhat this year in some of these games, is that this bracket could go really. It could be McCarthy's bracket. It could be American Heritage's bracket. They could get hot here. This could be Dillard's bracket. I mean, anything could go in this bracket. I feel like this bracket's a little bit more wide open in Region 4 than not now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, I'm just stunned that we're even talking about this bracket being wide open and that potential of being wide open. I'm stunned. But then Class 3A, Coach, I mean, look at that. I think. Just put Miami Northwestern and Miami Central and just call it a day. Put them in the regional final. That's probably what's going to end up happening. I mean, Mark Cannon, you're right. AHP is top heavy. The schedule was top heavy, but let's see how the playoffs play out. We'll see. Let's go back to that real quick in Class 4. I mean, obviously, probably take care of Plantation if that holds. It's the matchup against Dillard that would probably be really, really interesting if that holds. If it's a 2 versus 3, that would be really, really interesting to see if that happens here. Looking at Class 2A real quick here, obviously you see Cardinal Mooney. Cardinal Mooney sitting at that 1 seed, but the South Florida teams that are focused on obviously Central 4, Calvary Christian Fort Lauderdale's a 3. Bishop Rose a 5 seed that would go up against Clayton Central, but Kings Academy 6, Somerset County 7, North Broward Prep 8. And McCarthy versus Dillard, that would be interesting, especially if it was them two that got through the bracket on 4A Region 4, but we'll see what happens there. And 2A Region 4 here, Coach. I mean, I think really when you look at this one, it's because I think it's coming off coaches. It's probably from coach's phone where he's at. So
What is it?
They're saying there's an echo that they can hear. They can hear my voice echoing, but I'm trying to make sure, see what is going on. Maybe we got it. There we go. Anyways, Immaculate Cell sitting there at 1, and then maybe it's my headphones. So it's getting a little too close there. Try to fix that. Anyways, looking at that, Immaculate Cell sitting there at 1, Gibbons 2. I honestly think, Coach, it's either Cell or Gibbons coming out of this. I don't think there's anybody else in this one.
Pull back, yeah.
It really is, and then Class 1A. Obviously, looking at that, obviously you see that. I mean, there's Cardinal Newman and Benjamin. Those are the that are in Region 3 sitting there, and then of course looking at the rest of it.
I'd be taking Newman out of that one right there.
I take Newman out of that as well. I don't. You know what? I'll go back to it. St. Pete Catholic, in my opinion, it's a great season. This is one of their best seasons they've ever had. Be it under the St. Pete Catholic name or the previous name of Bishop Barry going back years ago. But other than that, yeah, St. Pete Catholic did. Honestly, I feel like Cardinal Newman's going to win that bracket. Yeah. Gibbons is formidable. Yes. I mean, I know they played Chaminade Madonna. That was. I mean, I get it. I mean, let's just talk about it. Chaminade Madonna, Chaminade Madonna, and True North. I mean, St. Andrews might be a potential possible fit, but Chaminade Madonna, I think it's Chaminade Madonna. You're getting Class 1A regardless of what you look at it. So, I mean. St. Pete Catholic, I mean, they have blown out everybody they have played on their schedule, Mark. So that's the big thing. It's like they have just everybody they have come up against, they have put at least 40-some points on them, if not more. So, but I'm really curious to see if that is just is it a sign that St. Pete Catholic's here to contend, or is this going to catch up to St. Pete Catholic at some point in the playoffs and well, they'll have to get through Cardinal Newman just to get through that bracket in order to reach the state semifinals. Who they could end up facing: a Chaminade Madonna, Cardinal, a Clearwater Central Catholic, maybe a Trinity Christian or a University Christian. I think there's so many different scenarios that that anything can happen here.
That Jacksonville grouping there is, I don't know what to make of it. Obviously, we kind of dove a little bit in Drive to State on Trinity, kind of figuring some things out. UC is just UC. I mean, they're just a team of consistency. They don't necessarily have, kind of similar to Trinity over the past 5 or 6 years at UC. They've always kind of just had that guy over there. What they have this year is a group of really just consistently good players that are disciplined. So UC really wouldn't surprise me as the team that kind of pops out and might make that run. I trust UC probably more than anybody out of Region 1 and Region 2 right now. I trust UC just a little bit more than anybody else. David Penland is just, I don't know what he does. He's a magician.
And unfortunately, whoever comes out of that region, out of any of these other regions, you got to deal with Chaminade Madonna.
Nobody. Chaminade just, I mean, what they did last week was, I mean, no, I'm not shocked they won, but a shutout is absolutely nuts. That team's they're different. It's a college team playing high school football. So good luck yet again to whoever gets to unfortunately make that 6-hour drive down to Miami to play them. So
no, you're absolutely right. There's a lot there to digest, a lot that is going to take in as they go. And this is when they beat St. Andrews, True North might slow down when they beat St. Andrews. Well, I mean, let's see what happens here. I mean, there's a lot right there to talk about, to digest as we go through this here. And as we get ready to go into this here, we're going to go right into the pick six here in just a moment here. And boy, I tell you what, the pick six for this week for South Florida is totally legit, Coach. I mean, literally, it's nuts here. Let's go into it here as we get into it here. All right, for the pick six here for week number 2 or week number 11, as I can get my thing to go. Why is it not going? Okay, there we go. All right, bring it up here. Pick six for week number 11 here. First up is Royal Palm Beach and Dr. Joaquin Garcia. Both of them are 6-3. Both of them need a win to have any shot at potentially getting into the playoffs through the back door at an 8 seed. And gosh, I gotta say, this one's going to be close, but my gut says Royal Palm Beach. I feel like Royal Palm Beach just has an edge here this year. They've been playing with some fire, and they went up and played Camden County and gave them a game this year. So what are you thinking, Coach? What do you want?
Who did Chris Marino pick?
Well, I'm going to tell you who Chris and Reno picked. Chris went Garcia. Reno is going Royal Palm Beach.
I knew I liked him. I'm going to take Royal Palm Beach as well.
Yeah, I feel like some of the games that Royal Palm Beach has played this year will come back to benefit them. And, of course, obviously, West Polka is in that district with them, so that helps a lot, too, as well here. With that said, all right, let's look at our second game here on the pick six, and that is True North 6-2 versus Westminster Christian 8-1. Reno is taking Westminster Christian, so is Chris, but I feel like True North is the better team here, and that is my pick here for this week.
I agree with you. True North.
Considering True North has already played a school from Jacksonville, University Christian, and took care of business against them. And I like True North's chances in this one. All right. Speaking of University Christian, they are going to be making a 8-hour bus ride to the one and only southernmost point of the United States. That is Key West. Both teams 6-3 in this one. I feel like Cont Nation has this one. I feel like this will be a big win for them, especially the fact that that's a heck of a drive to make all the way down to Keys. I mean, 5 hours down to Miami, another 3 on the overseas highway. That's a hike.
They are. They should be ready to go. Well, I'm giving it away what my pick is. I'm riding my boy DP3. They're leaving on Wednesday. They'll be
really?
They'll be down early. Early. I know they're leaving after. If I'm not mistaken, they're leaving about 5 or 6. They're going to do have practice, so that way the kids can get nice and tired for that bus trip, and they'll get down. They're going to be doing a two-night hotel stay, and then after the game, they're coming straight back. So they'll be rested, and they'll be able to go straight into what would regularly be a Thursday afternoon walkthrough, light practice. Same thing Friday, have a walkthrough, go right into the game. So,
wow.
Which is a good thing for them. Kind of gets them, because again, going to what we just talked about, it won't shock me if UC is going to be down there playing at Pitbull Stadium for a state championship against Chaminade.
I'm changing my pick to University Christian. All right. All right. I'm changing my pick to University Christian. I'm pulling a U-turn here.
U-turn.
Wait a second. I'm gonna do that. I'm pumping the brakes. Anyways, with that said here, University Christian is my pick. All right, next up, Chaminade Madonna, St. Thomas Aquinas. Chaminade Madonna 7-1, St. Thomas Aquinas 8-1. Here, we got a slate of some good games here. So
top 20 national game right there.
It indeed it is, and this one's huge. And boy, I'm trying to this one. I mean, this is Aquinas. If this was a Chaminade Madonna, I'd be more apt to say Chaminade Madonna. But give me STA here on this one, guy. This one's just it's going to be a tough one.
I'm a massive STA hater. I don't care what anyone says. I also hate Chaminade Madonna. So I'm going to go with the team I hate the least out of the two, and that's because I grew up in a 7A school, the old 7A at Fleming Island, and we always, every time we would match up with Lakeland for a state semifinal game those 2 years, we always knew who the next team would be if we got past Lakeland, and I just always hated the idea of having to ever lose to them. So I'm going to take Chaminade. I just, something about STA has looked minimally off this year, minimally, compared to most years. They're obviously a nationally powered team still this year. Chaminade, I just trust Chaminade. They look consistently, they look like they show up. And I would say this, I think both teams come strong out of the gate. It's the second half. These teams are used to slowing down because they're used to getting the backups in. Yeah, this is a game where what team has it in the third and fourth quarter against a team like the other team?
No, you're right.
So really, it's for me, it's who shows up outside the locker room after halftime and continues that push, that momentum, because they're both going to come strong out of the gate. We always know that. I trust Chaminade right now that much more. But it's a toss up either way. You're talking about two of the three best teams in the state right now going up against each other a week away from playoffs starting. So, what a week to put that one on the schedule.
No, absolutely. Here is to wrap up the season. Absolutely, I agree. It's a week to put it on the
head
schedule
scratcher for sure. I'm not sure. You couldn't pay me to put that game to finish the regular season out, knowing health concerns, things like that could come up.
I would have liked to see this a little bit earlier in the season, but here we go. I mean, and same goes for the next two games if you really want to think about it. West Boca Raton 7-2 and Atlantic Delray Beach 9-0, and Chris is going West Boca, Reno's going Atlantic, and this is a game that Atlantic lost in the final seconds last year, if I'm recalling correctly, or was an overtime game. If someone wants to bring that up, real quick, refresh my memory, because I know this was a game that West Boca won. And Atlantic would like to have this one back. And, boy, Atlantic, West Boca's played some good games this year, but, boy, this is a tough matchup. But West Boca 7-2, Atlantic 9-0.
Give me Atlantic to finish perfect regular season, get their get back from last year. Such a tough team. Really, really gearing up, I think, for what could be a good run in the playoffs. Ultimately, we know where they're going to end up facing at some point. So, but this is the kind of game. There's storylines for that program. There's bulletin board material. Go get you a win, get your revenge, and get ready for a good little playoff run. This is the type of game that could really springboard them to do some special things and maybe get some upsets a couple rounds in when they could be facing pretty tough opponents.
No, absolutely. I agree with you on that. And give me Atlantic here. I feel like it's Atlantic's year for revenge, and that's what's going to happen here. And last but not least, it is the Muck Bowl, because it is always the Muck Bowl, regardless of the record. And it is Glade Central 8-1, Pahokee 7-2 at Anquan Bolden Stadium. Friday night, 6:00 kickoff. Boy, oh boy! If you wait for the entire year for this game, if you're a football fan, you're a fan of high school football in this state. Week 11 is always reserved for Muck Bowl, and boy, this year's edition brings two teams that are they're both playoff bound. Man,
I'm going to give you my pick because I already know where I'm going.
let me guess, Pahokee.
Oh, listen, AB will he'll have my head if I text him and tell him I picked Glade Central. It's not happening. Give me Pahokee. It's and a barn burner.
This one is. I mean, this is going to be a barn burner for sure. I'm so torn. Who to take, because Glade Central has definitely improved, but Pahokee, I mean, you got to give a massive props to Pahokee, who always play up in their class, but based upon their scheduling, because they're a rural team and they play up and up every year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Glade Central's all the more prepared for this game. I just Zach.
Give me Pahokee. I'm taking Pahokee.
Yeah.
I'm taking Pahokee on this one, but it's going to be a good battle to watch and see what happens here with that said. And that is the pick 6 for week number 11 here as we wrap it up here for, oh gosh, by the way, this is episode number 12. I know that we're one behind in terms of the numbers on our shows here on the Wednesday night shows, because obviously we had that 1 week that was canceled due to a family emergency. But again, I want to say that out of the number of shows that we have done here, I'm trying to figure it out here. I want to calculate this up real quick here, because done 12. Calculate it up here as we do this, as we sign off here. 12 times 4, that's 48, plus 6 more shows that's 54 right there. We were supposed to be coming up on our 100th this week here, I believe, out of all the shows here. And let me see, 11 times 4, that's 44. 98. Well, I can say this right now as I look at it here. Trying to figure this out here. Tomorrow, actually, I think I have to look at it a little bit more, but I think we're coming up on 100 either tonight or tomorrow. But anyways, boy, that was fun. The chat's flying by quickly, but we got one more left to do. Tampa Bay will be back here in just a few minutes here on FloridaHSFootball.com and the FloridaHSFootball.com social media handles.